All right, so here's another story for you guys. This may not be one of the more exciting stories for you to hear if you're looking for an exciting terror-filled Sasquatch story. It's not what this is about. I'm actually more trying to find the people who can use the support of myself and all of you out there with their encounter. Because you wouldn't believe how many people I've heard from whose lives have been changed and not for the better because of what they've experienced. And it really sucks ass, you know? It's not fair, it's not right. So that's why we're here. So I found this email and I'm going to read it out to you right now and share it for this person. Good afternoon. A friend of mine introduced me to your YouTube channel in regards to your video on the moose hunt and the tracking grizzly bear. We had a similar experience involving a black bear a year ago, and my buddy mentioned your video. This past Monday evening, I checked it out. Great experience to share. Thank you. I happened to let the next video play, which please know it's not common for me to binge watch. I had it playing over Bluetooth as I prepared dinner. You mentioned some experiences you've had, as well your community with Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or this creature. I literally stopped cooking, turned off the stove, and sat down. I've never sent a message like this, and in all honesty, not sure why I'm choosing to share now, though I feel the need. I have become quite the recluse after my experience, and all I can say is my core belief system in life changed 4 years ago. I got divorced in 2014 and decided to hit the road to find myself. My ex-wife did not allow me to have a dog, so the first thing I did was visit local shelters. The second shelter I visited, I found Bucky. Rather, we found each other. Bucky is a Great Pyrenees. He was found abandoned in a farm in southern Illinois. We instantly bonded, and he is my best friend and protector to this day. He was 2 years old when I rescued him. After about 8 or 9 months traveling, we decided to head up northwest for the late summer, early fall time. Please know that I am born and raised in urban Chicago, never having camped and no experience growing up in rural environments. Though after serving in the Marine Corps for 8 years, my train of thought and desire to be remote and to get to know nature was immense. I hear you. After my divorce, I felt the need to learn more about the wild and test my endurance, experience, and further my knowledge. We headed to Big Lake in Chetwynd, British Columbia. After seeing online the offered dispersed camping sites, and after camping in Washington State, we, Bucky and myself, were more than eager to keep getting more into the wild. To our disappointment, unfortunately, arriving in Chetwynd was not what we expected. It was pretty urban with all the amenities and simply not what we were looking for. We met a gentleman for breakfast, and he commented on our van, saw our Illinois tags, and we began to talk. He told me of an area not too far, by Moberly Lake, that we could really experience wilderness and could disperse camp for free. After breakfast, I got brief directions, put Moberly Lake in the GPS, and off we went. And for a side note, the horses and I, we usually drive, it's about 11 hours for me to get there from home. And when I'm going up guiding, which is about a 24-hour drive, the horses and I stop and we camp right at that lake, so I know exactly where you are. Upon arriving in the area, we drove around for quite some time before finding a dirt road that winded further into the wild. This was after taking numerous turns on roads, only to see homes or private property. We found a pull-off that appeared to end at perhaps a small ATV or walking trail. Nobody's around, and I decided to park and camp out for the night. The view is not the best. We could not see the lake, though it seemed remote, and water or fishing was not a concern. I wanted to hopefully see some black bear or possibly a cougar if we could stay for a while and hike around. Little did I know. The day was calm, we had a nice fire, and I cooked chicken breast that I picked up in the Chetwynd earlier that day. The one thing I'd like to mention is Bucky was not at ease. From the minute we parked, he seemed anxious and stayed next to the van. At this point, Bucky was never on a leash. He would usually go near the brush and lay within sight of the van. At 110 pounds, he's not small and always confident. I noticed this almost immediately. Having a camper van is a luxury. I cleaned up after dinner, sat by the fire listening to the sounds of nature, and turned in probably around 10 or 10:30 p.m. I was awoke to Bucky barking just after midnight. At first I said, "Okay, chill out," figuring it was a raccoon or possibly a skunk sniffing around the van. This is not the first time he woke me up camping, and I thought nothing of it at first. Bucky stopped, though as I was drifting back into sleep, he barked again. Now I said, "Knock it off." And he sat next to my bed, staring out the window, making low, almost humming or whining type sound. I've never heard him do this. What I'm about to share with you is the truth. I have shivers right now as I write this. I have only shared this with a couple good friends, and each time we had a couple drinks, and I do not think the sheer gravity and bewilderment of what we went through and witnessed resonated with them. All I can express is what we experienced the night of August 14th, 2015. It changed my life. I remember I had my foot off the bed on Bucky as he was faintly whining. I began to fall asleep. Bucky then jumped up like I had never seen and attacked our sliding door. I freaked out. I jumped up and yelled, "What the hell?" And Bucky started to whine and fit under the bed. He cannot fit, nor has he ever tried. He actually managed to get partially under the folding bed with his eyes fixated on the door. All I could think of was bear. It's a bear. Honestly, I was scared to shine the light outside at first. Instantly, I imagined a large bear being right there the moment I shined the light. I had not experienced a bear at this time, though it was a dream of mine to see one in the wild. Yes, usually not too cool when you look and there's a grizzly bear in front of you, especially if you're not familiar with them. Trust me. Hey bear, I said out loud. My 2 vent windows were open, as well as the 2 screen windows in the rear by the bed. I reached out for my headlamp from a kneeling position by the sliding door. I turned on the lamp and shined it out toward my camping chair in the fire pit. Nothing. I was hesitant to open the door. Sure a bear was probably out there, and now I was a bit freaked out due to Bucky's continued whining and growling. I thought of turning the van on was sure it would spook the bear, and I would never get a chance to see it. I slowly began shining the light around through all the windows looking for the bear. After all, I'm in a 3/4-ton camper van. What could happen? After about 10 minutes, I was awake and excited. I settled down and tried calming Bucky down, even laughing and repeating, "It's okay, it's probably just a little black bear." Wham! Something slammed into the rear of the van. My heart literally skipped a beat. I actually screamed, "What the F?" and started scanning all the windows. I was now scared. My shotgun was up in the roof of my Carrier. I instantly crawled up front to draw my 1911 from underneath the driver's seat. I recall being terrified to open the curtain that exposes the cab, also knowing I left the front windows cracked. I grabbed my sidearm and scurried back to the edge of the bed where Bucky was half under the bed, literally shaking. I now thought it was humans, most likely kids messing with us, and now my fear was turning into anger. "You MFers, I'm armed. Get the F out of here." I was putting jeans on and starting to put the boots on, then wham! Something else hit the van. This time the driver's side. It was loud. My guess is a piece of wood. It did not sound like a rock, though it could have been. I did not even lace my boots. I chambered around and tore the privacy curtain open and started my van. I rolled the windows up and hit the lights. The adrenaline pumping through me was crazy. What I saw next is unexplainable. So much of it changed my life to this very day and shook me literally to the core of who I am as a man. I turned the lights on and instantly noticed a silhouette of a creature through my driver's side mirror. The creature was huge. Literally so large I bent down to see its head in the mirror. He was about 3 to 4 feet off the left rear of my van. My rear taillights silhouetted this thing well. I could not believe what I was looking at and could not move. I was absolutely frozen. To this day, I've never told this. I began to cry. I was shaking so uncontrollably, I dropped my sidearm onto the floor and just began to break down as this thing just stood there completely motionless. I remember the right side of this thing's body was illuminated in the red from the taillights, and the arms and upper body were so immense and muscular. It was like a giant silverback gorilla, but standing completely erect. I don't recall the eyes, though I recall the arms, chest, and thigh. I could make out a frown and a very angry gesture on the face. I honestly believe I was scared to look at this thing's eyes. I could not take my eyes off it. I could see very deep breathing, but no movement from the creature. I was shaking uncontrollably, and Bucky began to completely flip out, barking out of control. Looking back, this all took place in well under a minute's time, but it seemed like it lasted for minutes. In a moment's time, the creature was gone. It simply turned and in one stride was into the bush, basically where the trailhead was. I was so shook up it took me minutes to get composed enough to move. I retrieved my handgun and sat on the floor between the driver's and passenger seats. After about 15 minutes, as if I was given a pure shot of adrenaline, I jumped up, put the van in gear, and tore out of there. I left all belongings I had outside, never exiting the van. This is our experience. I believe what we experienced that night to be a Sasquatch now. It was very real. I hope this experience may lend truth and comfort to others who have made doubt of themselves. Thank you for letting us share. There you go. There's another one, right? And another unfortunate experience that has had a negative impact on a good, honest person. And the only reason it's had a massive negative impact on this person is because this person, as well as millions, are not clearly and honestly informed about these damn things. It's absolutely ridiculous that the public isn't informed and that people are allowed to go out into rural areas, remote areas, and where these things frequent, and people know where these frequent, and they're allowed to just go babbling off into the timber in the woods by themselves without knowing about these things, and that's real shitty. That's a real shitty deal. But what can we do? What can we do is, I don't know, maybe more people with an attitude like myself can keep offering up support to the people who aren't familiar with these things, and help them get through their experience, and keep throwing shit back in the people's faces who are intent on throwing shit at these good, hardworking, honest people who have had these unfortunate encounters. You know? So what can I offer up to the author of this message? It's definitely an unfortunate experience he had. It's too bad it's had such a lifelong negative impact on you. Well, it's only been a few years now, but hopefully it'll get better. You know, taking note you're an American in Canada and you managed to successfully smuggle your shotgun and your handgun over the border. That was a risk. Good for you in doing it, though. Our gun laws are absolutely ridiculous and embarrassing. Not quite as embarrassing as our current government, but pretty embarrassing. And good for you. Do I condone breaking the law? No. Do I support doing what you can do to keep yourself and your family safe? Of course I do. You keep yourself and your family safe. Period. But I wouldn't suggest many of you try to do that. You get caught at the border smuggling firearm into Canada by the people at the border. It's not going to be a pleasant experience for you. They're going to turn you away. Keep your guns. They'll probably fine your ass off. But anyway, so as I am filming this story up, I'm actually on the Green River. And right here behind me, it's funny, one time I remember talking to that Renee DeHenden's son in town, and he was telling me about an encounter here where one of these damn things went ripping across the front yard of a house down the road here in front of the people that were outside right at dusk. And the dogs who had never been in the house before were fighting each other trying to get in the house. And for a week solid after that, the cops were called. And for a week after that, there was loud screams blasting from the timber on this side of this river right here to a point on the other side of the river, which is at the bottom of the Duffy Lake Highway against Lillooet Lake, but just up a bit. It's the same river I'm on right now. And there was 15 and 17-inch footprints found up and down the bank of this river right here at that time. So there's a little piece of information for you all about where I'm standing right now. And I'm actually closer to the head of well, I'm not close to the head of this river, but I'm not too far from Narren Falls. Actually, probably about 2 miles downriver Narren Falls right now. But anyway, as I film this, coincidentally, you know, I've got probably 500 emails in tellmystory@howtohunt.com now, and I came across this one. Sure enough, coincidentally, I am packed and I'm leaving tomorrow morning at around 6 o'clock in the morning, solo, to go hunting in this exact same area where this individual and his dog Bucky had their experience. Go figure, right? I won't have the luxury of staying in a camper van. I'm going to be tenting it alone and trying to get this elk and moose tag in my pocket cut. So I got a handful of people I want to continue feeding here in town, and myself. So this will be the last video that I put on the channel until I get back. And I wish everybody well and good luck. And make sure you support the good people out there and fight the good fight. And don't take shit from anybody, all right? We're not supposed to take shit from anybody or be bullied from anyone. And be safe and good luck out there. And I will return in probably a week's time from now. Okay, good luck out there. Be safe.